Did you know that anxiety is costing you far more than you think? Not just sleepless nights or that gnawing feeling in your stomach, but moments you'll never get back, the quiet times with family, when your mind was somewhere else, the joy of a conversation you didn't fully hear because your thoughts were racing, the opportunities you hesitated to seize because of fear. What if I told you that the way we think about anxiety is all wrong, and that for over 2,000 years, a handful of ancient philosophers have been quietly offering a way out? Today, we're diving into the wisdom of Stoicism, a philosophy that doesn't just acknowledge our fears, but teaches us how to face them, reframe them, and ultimately rise above them. The Stoics lived through plagues, wars, and political chaos. They were no strangers to anxiety. Yet they developed practical techniques to transform these fears into fuel for living a meaningful life. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by your worries, you're not alone. The Stoics were right there with you, and they found a way to turn anxiety from a thief into a teacher. Stay tuned, because what follows isn't your typical think positive or just relax advice. We're going to unpack some of the most powerful Stoic strategies for overcoming anxiety, techniques that have been tested across centuries. Whether you're a Stoicism skeptic or a lifelong philosophy fan, this video will challenge your thinking, push you out of your comfort zone, and offer practical steps for reclaiming the present moment. If you find value in what we're discussing today, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and share this video with others who are seeking personal growth and philosophical understanding. Your support helps us keep bringing these ideas to life and sharing them with a wider audience. Stick around until the end, especially if you're skeptical. Some of what we're going to cover might seem counterintuitive, but if you watch with an open mind, you'll walk away with a toolkit for managing anxiety that's grounded not in temporary fixes, but in timeless wisdom. Let's get into it. Anxiety isn't a new player in the game of life. It's as old as humanity itself. Think about it. Our ancestors faced fears about survival, conflict, and uncertainty, just like we do today, from the earliest communities huddled around fires to the bustling modern cities filled with technology. Anxiety has always been there, a constant companion through the ages. Now let's bring in some Stoic wisdom. The Stoics, philosophers from ancient Greece and Rome, understood this timeless nature of human worries. They didn't have smartphones or social media, but they faced their own share of plagues, political turmoil, and personal hardships. For instance, Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic thinkers, ruled the Roman Empire during a devastating plague and wrote about his thoughts and struggles in what we now read as Meditations. His writings show us that the essence of anxiety hasn't changed. It's our reactions to our circumstances that can differ. By anchoring our understanding of anxiety and Stoicism, we see that these philosophers were onto something profound. They believed that by recognizing the permanence of certain human experiences like anxiety, we could find a more detached and rational way to deal with them. They taught that while the specifics of what we worry about might change, the core feelings of fear, uncertainty, and worry remain constant. This perspective is incredibly liberating because it means that we can draw on centuries of wisdom to manage our anxieties today. We're not alone in this. We're just the latest in a long line of humans learning to cope with being human. What's powerful here is not just understanding anxiety through a historical or philosophical lens, but using that understanding to strengthen our own mental resilience. The Stoics offer us tools to do just that, reminding us that anxiety is not something uniquely modern or uniquely ours, but a shared human condition that we can approach with wisdom passed down through generations. So next time you feel that familiar flutter of anxiety, remember, people have been standing where you are for thousands of years, and many have found ways to ease that flutter. We can learn from them and maybe make our journey a little easier. When we look back at history, It's like opening a treasure chest of wisdom, especially when it comes to understanding how to handle life's challenges. And when you're feeling anxious, who better to turn to than some of the greatest minds who have navigated through remarkably turbulent times? Let's consider some Stoic philosophers and how they manage their own struggles. Take Marcus Aurelius, for instance. Here was a Roman emperor, the most powerful man in the world at his time. Yet he wasn't immune to the mental trials that come with responsibility and uncertainty. He faced military invasions, political conspiracies, and the Antonine Plague, which devastated his empire. Despite these challenges, he found solace and strength in Stoic philosophy, meticulously jotting down his thoughts, which later became his book Meditations. In his writings, Marcus often discusses the concept of accepting what you can't control and focusing on your own actions, which is incredibly relevant advice for managing anxiety today. Then there's Seneca, another Stoic heavyweight who faced immense political pressure and personal risk daily under the volatile leadership of Emperor Nero. Seneca's letters and essays are filled with practical advice on how to cope with fear and anxiety. He emphasized the importance of rational thought and often recommended preparing oneself mentally for the worst, not to dwell on it, but to diminish the shock if it should come. His thoughts encourage us not to be surprised by misfortune when it occurs, as foreseeing trouble is less impactful. By learning about these historical figures, we connect with their experiences and see how Stoicism isn't just theoretical, it's a practical toolkit. These stories teach us that anxiety and adversity aren't modern phenomena, but human reactions to the conditions of life, which have been remarkably consistent over millennia. Understanding this can help us feel less isolated in our struggles. We are walking a well-trodden path and have much to learn from those who have walked it before, incorporating Stoic principles like focusing Stoicism from something you know intellectually into something you live naturally. As you continue learning and applying Stoic wisdom, you'll find yourself not just reacting to life's challenges, but actively shaping how you experience them, leading to a more resilient and composed approach to whatever comes your way. Thank you for being a part of Stoic Life Journal. Your journey toward inner peace and personal growth is just beginning, and we're here to walk it with you. If this video resonated, keep exploring. Click on one of the suggested videos on the screen for more insights that could change the way you think and live. Until next time, stay strong and stay stoic.